Warning, some viewers may find the following footage deeply disturbing.
Right, how are we going to start this? I suppose we ought to go on our vegan journey, really. Do you want to go first, or shall I go first?
I'll let you go first.
Okay. Well, I went vegetarian. I think it was about 2005 before we moved to Ireland. And you won't remember that, I suppose, because you were very small. We used to have some rabbits, and one of them was called Bongo. She was a female rabbit. And
yeah, I remember Bongo.
Yeah, she was beautiful. She was brown, big, fluffy, but she was ill. I can't even remember what was wrong with her, but she was ill, and I had to take her to the vet. And I remember she didn't have long to live. In fact, I think when we moved over, we were going to move over to Ireland. If you remember, we actually took her over there on a bit of a holiday. It was like her last holiday.
Yeah, bless her.
So I could give her a medication, but she came with us, and so I couldn't trust anybody else to look after her, really. So, but when holding her, she felt, by the time illness had progressed, she'd got really skinny. So holding her felt like a piece of chicken. And I think then it was like, I thought to myself, I can't do this anymore. I can't eat chicken. And now I used to be absolutely mad. Your dad would tell you, I used to be absolutely mad on sweet and sour chicken, especially when I was pregnant. It was one of those things I really used to love to eat. So I didn't really like any other sort of meat. I was never mad on beef or pork, especially lamb. But yeah, so when I felt her, she felt like a piece of chicken. So I thought, no, I can't do this anymore. So I that's when I gave up meat. But then as I hit my mid-40s, this is going back about 2015 it started, I then began to get a lot of health problems. And as you know, as you are yourself, I'm gluten intolerant. Could actually be celiac, but I've never had the test. And I thought I could be lactose intolerant. And I tried, I think it was about 3 times to go vegan. And I finally did it in 2019. I came off all animal products, and as in eating them, and gradually stopped using animal products altogether. So I officially call myself vegan since October 2019.
Because it wasn't just the food that you started with as well, was it? You started using the cruelty-free products as well?
Yeah, it was only when we went to, that would be my son-in-law's, my daughter's house, and my son-in-law said to me about being vegan, and his friend was there, and he actually said to me, are you all out vegan? Do you not use shampoos? Do you only use like vegan shampoos and stuff? And I'm like, oh, I didn't know like there was animal products in shampoos and other beauty products. And eventually it came to light. It was stuff around the house, you know, like cleaning products and stuff. And you'd be surprised how many things contain animal products.
Yeah.
So yeah. But anyway, enough about me. What about yours?
So my story is a little bit more recent, really. So I've actually celebrated just 2 years being vegan now. I sort of started off with, I sort of saw a couple of things on the TV about how animals were treated in the farms and that sort of thing. And nothing too brutal, but I felt it was enough for me. And then through more...
Didn't you say it was... I think I remember you saying to me, you saw Clarkson's farm.
Yeah, and it was just like the way that they were...
Don't like Jeremy Clarkson anyway.
It was just the way that they were just like... treating the animals... they were just sort of like numbers, and just the way that they were... I don't want to go into too much detail, but like, I mean, it was how they used to castrate them when they were younger, and you know, like they were just born, and like what they'd done to them, and then just how when they would send them off to go be killed for meat as well. And I just felt, you know, I just can't be a part of that anymore.
And you used to be a massive meat eater.
Yeah, I always used to love.
You used to love your bacon and your sausages.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, I always felt a guilt. It was making that correlation between the eating the animal and actually having eaten the food. Because I always felt I could always eat it and not think about it. But when I was in the presence of a vegan or a vegetarian, I always used to feel like a guilt when eating my meat. And I don't know, I think enough was enough, I think. And at first I thought in my head, you know, I'm going to go vegetarian because my partner at the time, he was still a meat eater. And I thought I'll buy some vegan products and try them, and then I'll still buy a bit of meat as well and try it. But actually, I just thought, as soon as I started eating the vegan stuff, I just thought, you know what? I've just had enough. I think I went full on vegan and never looked back. And I can honestly say I don't miss anything really. I know a lot of people say they miss the cheese, but I don't really.
I think that's the problem. I think when you speak to most vegans, the thing that they most miss is the cheese. Yeah. I remember when I first went vegan, it was chocolate. The chocolate wasn't that good, but my God, that has exploded in the last, I'd say, 5 years. You've got so many chocolate producers now. And I mean, a lot of people would say, as soon as you put that word vegan in front of it, they think it's not chocolate.
Yeah.
But what is chocolate? It's made from the cocoa bean.
Yeah.
But they think it has to have milk in it, but it doesn't.
No, and I actually prefer the taste of the milk alternatives, actually, to be fair. And I think there's a lot of people that actually, vegan or not, they actually prefer the taste of the oat milk. But going back to it with my story as well is I just felt guilty about eating the animals, and I just began to think and sort of visualize a little bit more, and I just thought I just couldn't do it anymore. And because I always called myself an animal lover, and then I just thought, how can I be an animal lover if I can say, well, I can eat this animal but not this animal, and it's acceptable to eat this animal but not this one. Especially because I love my rabbits, and you know.
I know you've got about 20 of them.
But
how many rabbits have you got?
I used to have 8 rabbits, but I'm down to just 4 now, and I got 2 guinea pigs as well. But I love them, and you know, I couldn't imagine looking at them and thinking food, you know. And it's not just that. It was obviously, I hate eating the animals and stuff. It was an environmental impact, and then also health reasons. And I suffered a lot with my thyroid, and I actually found going vegan and cutting out the dairy as well, that I actually felt like I don't get quite so swollen in my thyroid as well, because I had a lot of problems there. But
it's funny how many people report that, actually, that when they've got like some sort of a underlying medical problem, then when they go vegan, it either gets better or it disappears altogether.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. What amazes me when people say, oh, I find it really hard to go vegan because of, you know, like, oh, I miss my bacon or whatever, or oh, I can't because I'm gluten intolerant or whatever. But the thing is, we're both gluten intolerant.
Yeah.
And we manage it. Even going out, that would be one of the problems, is when you go out. But most restaurants and cafes now, they will accommodate you. I will say that.
Yeah, and I just think there's nothing that I really miss. Because there's an alternative to everything really. Because even if you like your spaghetti bolognese, you can get like the mince as well, the alternative, and some of it actually does taste quite have that meat texture to it.
Mm.
But then also you get the certain foods that have that vegetable texture too as well,
Yeah.
which I personally enjoy, like the more vegetable based stuff.
Mm.
But and I think if you are
What, rather than the fake meats?
yeah,
Yeah, because I do. I'm not a mad fan of fake meat. To me, Beyond Burger tastes like a burger.
Yeah, it does taste
It
quite
tastes like a
meaty.
proper beef burger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I do think that if you can sort of look and educate yourself a little bit more, because I think I used to find as well that having like a slow cooker is one of your best things you can have in a kitchen, because you can put all your veg and all your ingredients in, and there's so many recipes online. And
I was going to say, a lot of people say that as well, that like when they go vegan, oh, it's too much hard work. But arm yourself. I found if you arm yourself with, like you say, a slow cook, and I mean, I've got many cookbooks that I probably will show in the future. I've got many cookbooks, and you can just, like any recipe, you can just chuck in the slow cook first thing in the morning. I mean, I'm one of these people that does not really like cooking at the end of it. When you've had a busy day, you've either been to work or, in my case, you know, looking after grandchildren as well. Last thing you want to do is then come in and cook. Nobody feels like being like Jamie Oliver when you come in from work. So I find if you chuck it all in the slow cook, and not only that, but when you walk in the door and it smells beautiful.
It smells lovely, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you could chuck curries in there, casseroles, lentil dal I do in there. In fact, that's what we've got today is lentil dal.
Yeah, I like
yeah. So, but yeah, lentil dal. Yeah, all sorts. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's all these people that say, well, I haven't got the time. But like you say, with a slow cook, you just got to put it in and leave it to do its thing. You haven't got, just chop up what you've got to chop up, weigh it out or whatever. But, it's one of the quickest and easiest things I would say to do.
But do you think the people that say they haven't got the time are the people that don't eat properly anyway? Because that's the other thing, is obviously when you go vegan, unless you ended up having a load of processed meats and burgers and the fake meats and all that, the processed vegan stuff, you would probably eat a lot healthier anyway if you made it from scratch.
But I mean, even if that's the sort of thing that you want to do and go you can get like your alternative, like you can get your fake chicken Kiev, your fake steaks, your fake bacon, if you know what I mean, if that's what you really, if you're not too fussed like about your health and that sort of thing, then if that's the route you want to go down, I mean, a lot of people will have chips. I mean, chips, they're vegan anyways, really, most of the time, And
mind you, I wouldn't really advise that. If you do that, you're going to go without your vitamins. That's the only thing.
Yeah.
You're going to be missing vital vitamins. And I will look it up, but I can't remember what I mean, you need your B12, you need
always take that supplement.
Your vitamin D, because we don't get enough of it in this country.
And that's that's through across the board, really, not just as vegans, it's across the board, everybody.
That's definitely yeah. But I think that it's an education, really. I think you need to learn to start cooking from scratch.
Yeah, definitely.
I think people should be doing that anyway.
Tastes better as well, cooking from scratch. You know?
Definitely. Yeah. Well, maybe I could show my cookbooks one of the days.
Yeah, because you make a lovely lentil bolognese, which is your own recipe as well.
That is my own recipe.
It's personally my favourite meal of, whenever it's cooked. So
yeah. Well, everybody seems to like it, but I must admit, I nicked bits of recipes for that one. Like a lot of the vegan cooks, they have their own way, a slightly different way of doing a lentil bolognese. And I've just taken a bit from each and called it my own. So it's not that hard. And I mean, you can get all the ingredients for fairly cheap. I'll have to total it up one day, but for fairly cheap from like the likes of Aldi, Lidl, or the cheaper supermarkets. Well, I mean, you can get them from Tesco anyway, but you're not getting any, because that's the other thing, is that as soon as you put the word vegan, I don't know what it is. People think meat eaters seem to think you put some magic ingredients in it.
Yeah, and sometimes a lot of things with the name vegan to it does have a heftier price tag. But I mean, like you say, you can buy the raw ingredients, you know, for like from your basic supermarket. You know, doesn't have to be, you know, top of the range. You know.
No, and I mean, very often I'll use like tin stuff, which can sit in your cupboard for absolutely ages.
Yeah.
So it won't go off.
That's what I love about the milk alternatives as well, because you can stock up on those. Gone are the days when you're like, oh, the milk's gone off, or, you know, we have to pop up the shop because we're out of milk. You know, you can stock up on the milk alternatives in your cupboard, you know, and you don't have to, they got nice long dates on them as well. So.
Yeah, the only thing you have to watch is yogurt.
Yeah.
How many times I've had to throw away yogurt because it's gone out of date? But yeah, no, the milk alternatives, yeah, definitely, yeah. But no, I do think that a lot of meat eaters seem to, as soon as I say the word vegan, I mean, we've had people come round to our house and I'll say, like, do you want to stay for dinner? And as soon as you say it's a bolognese, maybe, and you turn around and say, well, it's a vegan bolognese, they turn their nose up. Yeah. I don't know, do they think you put some sort of vegan bogies in it or something? I always call it vegan bogies.
Yeah.
I don't know what they think you do.
Yeah, it's just having that, they just think it's going to taste not so nice, but you know, I actually prefer the taste of it, to be honest. I think, and I think if you blindfolded people and said, you know what, taste this and which one do you prefer, because there has been many studies that I've seen on documentaries and that, and people have said that they have preferred the vegan stuff, you know.
Well, a lot of vegan foods, a lot of foods are actually vegan.
Yeah, that you don't know.
Yeah, and I didn't realise. I really did not realise. It was only Bridie, that's one of my other daughters. She said about jammy Dodgers and chocolate bourbon biscuits. You wouldn't think that, especially bourbon biscuits, because they've got that creamy chocolate bit in it.
Yeah, you just, where it's the cream, you just assume it's
made with some sort of milk. Yeah. But no, it's vegan. Yeah, and most breads, if you buy it as just a bulk sliced loaf of bread, it's very often vegan.
Yeah. Just sometimes they might have the odd bit of egg in it. You just got to watch out for those ones.
Yeah, that's especially if you are gluten-free and vegan. I mean, if you go to any restaurant and you end up, like we've been to places where they have like cooked breakfast and they'll offer you toast, and because it's gluten-free they assume it's vegan as well. That's the mistake.
Yeah,
but it very often isn't, so I always get them to check. But yeah, but the thing that really got me is how many products this was. I mean, that's another thing that's exploded in the last 5 years. How many products, when I first started out as vegan in 2019, like beauty products and cleaning products, weren't vegan, and you used to have to buy, like, it would have to be quite expensive, and you would have to buy from
like Holland and Barrett or something like that.
Yeah, but now they've got like Fabulosa, Astonish. They're two of the ones that make. They've branched out. I think it's Astonish, or it might be Fabulosa. I can't remember. They've actually branched out into making like bubble bath and shower gels and things like that as well.
And you can buy
them candles.
In places like B&M and Home Bargains.
Yeah.
You know, you don't have to go to a specific health shop to do it. You know, you can do it, and you can get a range of stuff in like your supermarket as well, because it's amazing actually how many things that places like Lidl's do as well. They're actual vegan. Actually,
their range, I think their range of like cleaning products are supposed to be all vegan. I think. I'm not 100% sure. We'd have to look that up, but I think they used to boast anyway that all their cleaning products were vegan.
Yeah.
Which is pretty good. So
And we can do another episode on products as well, which would be quite good for people to see.
Trying out some different stuff.
Yeah.
Because I think that's the thing. When you go vegan, I think people think you either have to be some sort of hippy dippy type who never washes and only eats tofu and avocados, they would be for like the middle class, and that would be your middle classes, and you've either got to be like a hippie or middle class, because they're the only people. Either hippies don't wash and they only eat tofu, so it's quite cheap for them to live, or if you're middle class, you've got the money to go vegan, you can buy quinoa and things like that, but actually you can buy it all from fairly cheap if you shop around.
Yeah.
It's quite available.
Because I remember going back to when I first sort of said that I was going vegan, I know a lot of people looked at me like I had two heads, and they were like, well, what are you going to eat? And they always make the comment like, oh, you're just going to eat grass. What's in your burger? Or is it grass? You know, or is it just salad or nuts? Is that all you can eat? There's so many different things, and it's always the protein, that word protein, that people think, well, you're going to miss out on your protein, but there's so many plant proteins out there that you can have.
We should have soundproofed this room, shouldn't we? But yeah, no, you're absolutely right. But yeah, it's just amazes me. I remember when going back, it was probably about 10-12 years ago or something, might have been a bit longer, but Madonna announced she'd gone vegan. And I remember saying to Bridie, that's of my other daughter, I remember saying, oh my God, what does she eat? What does she eat? Does she just eat nuts? You know, you don't think, people don't realise how good vegan food can be.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, and
I look forward to my salads and things like that. And there's so many, like you say, you can have like a nice rainbow dish, can't you? Because there's so many lovely things that you can eat.
Yeah, yeah. And I think vegans tend to flavour their food a lot more.
Oh,
herbs and spices.
Yeah.
Whereas, what do you get if you're a meat eater? You get perhaps a burger then. And then what do? They end up chucking a load of sauce on top. Ketchup or something.
Yeah, and you're just tasting the sauce, really, aren't you?
Or a steak. What would you put on a steak? I don't know, because I've never actually eaten steak. I was never that keen.
Yeah, and I never enjoyed steak either.
We'll let you know in the next episode.
But you done the test, didn't you, with Dad before he turned vegan?
Well, he's vegetarian.
Yeah.
He's not quite there with the vegan thing.
The cheese that he can't.
Oh my God. If anybody can name a cheese, a good cheese,
There's that one you did get from, you know, Waitrose. Was it Waitrose?
Waitrose, yeah.
I mean, we don't just do all of our shopping at Waitrose.
No.
We're not posh.
We've there are 3 cheeses there. There's a camembert. There's I think it's called Brixton Blue. I've forgotten the make of it. I must say that. I must find that out. It's I know they make it. It's Pizza, something to do with Pizza in London, the pizza place. I'll find that out anyway. But that's not really he wants an everyday cheese.
Yeah.
You know, like a nice cheddar. And I know
we love the Cathedral City, don't we?
A lot of people say about the Cathedral City, but he says he's not mad on it. But they do say if you don't like the vegan cheese, go off it for 2 weeks, as in don't eat any cheese for 2 weeks, and then eat a vegan cheese, and then you'll probably like it. I would say that's probably true, but trying to get him to not have cheese, I think he'd rather divorce me than not have cheese.
He didn't mind the vegan coleslaw, though, did he?
He didn't mind. He didn't mind that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I'd say they all vary as well, because all the mayonnaises vary.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. Because I'm afraid I'm a fan of either the Heinz or the Hellmann's mayonnaise. But some of the cheaper ones can be a bit vinegary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But going back to it though. It was you done the test.
Oh yeah, yes. So you're
Buying
on
the
about that.
organic. Was it the organic chicken you done? And you got him
Yeah.
to see if there was. And you said they actually flavoured the chicken.
Yeah, it was. I'd listened to a podcast with Chris Van Tolken called, I think it was called Fed on BBC iPlayer, and it wasn't a vegan podcast. It was about like the chicken industry, and he said in it that I think he interviewed somebody, if I remember rightly, but they said that chicken is actually flavoured. So the chickens, and if you look at chickens from years ago, they differ from the ones that we have today, because obviously the ones that we have today,
Yeah.
they're bred to be big within like 40 days or whatever
And to
it is.
lay the eggs as well.
Yeah. But yeah, it's actually flavoured. And he said the way to test is go and buy some organic chicken and taste it compared to like the chicken.
Obviously, we didn't taste it.
No, we didn't. But I got it for my husband, Rachel's dad, and he tried it and he said it was absolutely tasteless. Absolutely tasteless. So,
well, that's why a lot of people say they love their KFC, and it's the part of the KFC they say they actually prefer the most is actually the breadcrumbs and
yeah, I'm sorry, I was like that. See, I used to like KFC.
And it's like the breadcrumbs, and that's where all the flavour is really. It's not in the actual chicken itself.
No.
You know?
No. And the thing is, you could get like VFC now, can't you?
Yeah.
Vegan fried chicken.
I mean, sadly we can't have it because of the breadcrumbs and being gluten free. But
if you could make a gluten free version, that would be great.
And if any of you have tried it, let us know if you like it.
Yeah. I know Bridie. Bridie is my other daughter, and well, I've got two other daughters as well as that. But she's the one that's vegan, and as well as Rochelle, and I think she's had it. I think she likes it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure that I've seen that you can sometimes get that in Lidl's as well. I think. So.
Yeah, I think you can.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know they do a fried rice. I think they do. I think it's a fried rice I've had from Sainsbury's. So, yeah, there was just an absolute explosion of different foods now out there.
Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah.
There's so much, and there's so many, and they're just bringing out more and more every day, really, aren't they? You know.
Yeah, yeah. And like going back to the beauty products, I mean that's really exploded now.
Oh,
I mean, you'd be, as you can see, she'd be more into her beauty products than me. But yeah, very well turned out you are today. But yeah,
just for the camera.
Yeah. Whereas I just had my hair back. But yeah, I'm not the hippie type, by the way. But yeah, it's the beauty products. Barry M would be one of my favourites.
Yeah, because their range is absolutely 100% vegan and cruelty-free, isn't it?
Absolutely. And what I love about them is their nail varnishes dry really quick.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. Is that Barry M there?
Yeah, well, it's hard to see because I've got it's like a tanned colour on it.
Oh, show the camera. There you go. Nice colour. They look lovely. They look nice. But no, Barry M is good. Yeah. I do like Barry M.
And I know Revolution, they do a range that's vegan and cruelty free as well. Not all of their products, but quite a large sum of them.
I thought they were all vegan and cruelty free.
Oh, they might be, but
I might have got that wrong. We'll have to
do some more research into that.
And is it NYX or something? One of those. We'll have to look these up. But I think they've all, even Rimmel have brought out like
they
a
all
vegan
do
range.
their own little to sort of market towards that audience as well. Because if you don't have to buy all the expensive brands, you know, it doesn't have to be a premium for you to have vegan and cruelty-free products. You know, and even things like this hair dye that I use is a vegan one as well.
Oh,
you know?
She is a hairdresser by trade. Yeah. Yeah, because I didn't know that you could get vegan hair colours.
Yeah, and even you can get them even in like the supermarkets as well. I mean, you can get some vegan like professional brands as well, like that you use in salons. But you can't, like, so I use like NXT, Aveda, and there's so many different ones you can get in the salons. But if you want to do even just dye your hair at home, like this one I think is a Garnier Nutrice one, which is a vegan one that I used. And it's a really like nice thing that people can do.
Are all their products cruelty free and vegan?
I know the hair care range that I used is, and I think they very often do an offer, and it's like 2 boxes for £12, I think. But I'll double check on because I know in some of their shampoos and that I think they use honey, so that's the only other thing.
Right. But why I ask that is because very often, like with foods, they have like what we call a vegan tax.
Yeah.
Is that the same with hair dyes? Are their vegan hair dyes, are they a lot more expensive?
I wouldn't say so. I mean, like you say, because you can get 2 boxes. They do like 2 for £12, which is I think is quite reasonable. And the quality is really good because they've got nice oils in and that sort of thing, and they make your hair quite nice and glossy and shiny.
Well, yeah, look at this. Nice. I can assure you now, even touching it feels really glossy and shiny. I mean, what shampoo do you use on that?
So I actually sometimes I've actually used some of the wild stuff.
Oh, right, yeah.
You know, you can get the canisters and refill them. They're quite a nice idea. But I know sometimes they might be a bit expensive to, you know, if you haven't got a lot of money, because sometimes they can be like £10-15.
Yeah, but I have seen it in the sale in Tesco's for like £2, £3, £4.
Yeah.
Yeah, for a lot cheaper.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I know you bought some yesterday, didn't you?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. But yeah, no. I remember going back at Christmas time. They had like the shower gels for like £3.50 or something.
Yeah, which is, you know, it's
and I just stock
offer.
up.
And you can't. It's too good to miss, isn't it, when you find an offer like that? Because it is. I quite like the stuff. You know?
Yeah, I just stock up when it's like that.
Yeah. Definitely, but there is so many different brands and things out there that you wouldn't know, and you've got that really good app on your phone, the Yucca app, which is really good at scanning the products, and it comes up with, you know, if it's a good product or not.
Yeah, because that's the other thing is you need to know whether it's going to be harmful to you, carcinogenic, and there is an app called the Yucca app. That is really, really good.
Yeah,
so I suggest you look that up. But yeah, it's handy to have.
You just sort of scan the barcodes, don't you? And it comes up with a rating as well.
I have seen like apps where you can scan something to see if it's vegan or not.
Oh, really?
Because that's the other thing. If you're stood in a supermarket and you see a new product and you want to see, and it's not always visible whether it's...
Yeah, reading the ingredients.
Yeah, read the ingredients.
Sometimes it might be vegan, but it doesn't actually say suitable for vegans on the back.
Yeah, accidentally vegan.
Yeah.
Sometimes supermarkets are naughty because what they'll do is they'll put suitable for vegetarians when it's actually suitable for vegans, but they know that the word vegan somehow puts people off. But it's definitely exploding. I think it's, you know, getting, our cult is getting more popular. I do hate it when people call it a cult.
But if it is a cult, I'm proud to be part of it.
Yeah, so am I.
Yeah.
I'm really proud. Yeah, I suppose we better wrap it up there, really.
Yeah, because we've got so much to talk about, but we've got so many different... We can do some more episodes if you enjoyed this, I suppose.
Yeah, well, we'll wrap it up there and we'll see you next time.
Yeah, be kind.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Yeah, that's the one thing that vegans need to be.
Yeah,
I think everybody should be. Be kind.
Yeah.
If there's one thing you can do today is go out there and be kind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you didn't like this video, just give us a like and be kind anyway.
Yeah. That would be good.
Yeah.
Put us up to the top of the YouTube ratings.
Yeah. Yeah, just have us playing in the background.
Yeah. Don't even watch us. Don't bother. Right, see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye.